Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Sunday live stream. I have an amazing guest for you today, which I'm sure you are all aware of. I see some of you have been in this chat room waiting for a half an hour. So you guys must love the guest that I have coming up. We have Shaunte Massard. Many of you know her from the Dhar Mann series. She's done a million other things. She's a momtrepreneur. I just made that up. No, she's a mom, but she's also starting different businesses. And you guys probably have seen her page that her new book is out, guys. It comes out tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that. And I'm sure you guys have a ton of other questions for her. She is a role model. She is a believer in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And all props go to him. I noticed that in the beginning of her book. And she is, well, you guys know she's a fabulous actress. And she loves her family. And she's just fun to be around. Now, I can speak from hanging out with her. She's kind of a little bit shy in public. So sometimes we got to coax her out of that shell. So if you ever see her and she's like hanging back, it's not that she doesn't love you. It's just that she can be a little shy sometimes. So we're gonna bring her on right now. Welcome everybody to Shaunte Massard.
Hi everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
So this is a treat, and actually people on my live stream have been asking me to have you on for quite a while.
Oh, wow.
So I just wanted it to be the right time, and I wanted you, like, you have something special going on right now, some labor of love that you put your heart and soul in. And first of all, it's incredible that you could write a book so quickly, but it's still chock full of information. And I was listening to a prophecy, like a preacher the other day, and they said something about how when someone writes a book, it wasn't the amount of time it took to write the book, it was all the years that they lived through that thing. So your book may have been written quickly, but you've got how many years of experience in acting and everything that you poured your heart and soul into, and all the tough lessons that took you years and years to learn. But we're able to learn from your wealth of knowledge in like 2.5 hours or whatever it takes to read the book. So it's such a treat to see things from your perspective. And I'm sure you get tons of like, oh my God, you're such a good actor. Like, how do you do it? And you're like, well, this is how I do
it. It's very true. That's very true. That's very well put, Katherine. The book was written in a short period of time. And you as well as our friend Giovanna, we came together and we held each other accountable, and we said we're going to get these books done, and we did it in a short period of time compared to a lot of authors, which they say it takes them years to do their first book.
Yeah, you know? I met a woman last night who just published her book, and she had been working on it since 2012. So a 10-year labor of love, and she told me she had like 20 other books she wanted to do. I said, well, you got to do them quicker than 10 years apart.
10 years apart.
You're not going to live another 200 years.
Well, maybe now she knows the formula. Hopefully it's expedited.
And honestly, probably the first one is the hardest, because you have a lot of self-talk to get over. Whatever your guys' goal is, like even millionaires, the millionaires say the first million's always the hardest. And I feel like a lot of it's not the technique, it's not the doing it, it's calming this raging beast between your two ears that's trying to tell you, who do you think you are?
Wow.
What do you think that you have to offer? Nobody knows who you are. Who is going to listen to you? Blah, 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 blah.
Very true. Very true. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. We have to get through that. And I think that's sort of what my book, Finding You in Every Script, and that's sort of what it is about. it's finding you, it's finding your voice and knowing who you are in the world and knowing what it is that you have to offer. That's really the true message of the book. Yes, I do talk about acting because I have a passion for acting, and I love relationships with people. It also talks about people and personalities. But I think the true message is just knowing who you are in the world and living that truth, living your true self, your authentic self.
Yeah. And so, I mean, everybody loves you as an actor, but there probably are some people on that are like, well, I am not an actor. Like, how is this book even going to apply to me?
Right.
And would you speak on that topic?
Yeah, exactly. So I often say that this book, it came from my own experiences as being, an actress. And, I am a trained actress. I went to school for it. I trained here in California, and I have the experience of being an actor. But being an actor has taught me how to be a better human.
Yeah.
It really has taught me how to be empathetic towards other people's life experiences. So that's what my book speaks on. It's being a better person. It's understanding your mom who may have had some control issues. It's understanding your spouse or your brother, someone who may have, they're truly optimistic about life. And you're looking at them like, there's nothing to be optimistic about. So it's really understanding people, loving and accepting people for who they are, and especially yourself. Accepting who you are, getting to know who you are, and loving yourself, and allowing everyone to freely go along this life journey, discovering how to give, how to share. Because I think that's what I'm telling you on my spiritual journey with God. It's been more about loving God and loving others. What is the best way to do that? The best way to do that is to truly love myself as a child of God, and then love everyone else, because guess what? They're children of God as well.
Yeah.
Right? So
even the people we don't agree with are children of God, which is sometimes hard to remember.
Especially the people we don't agree with, especially because they come across your path for a reason, right?
Yeah.
They come across your path so you can learn about who you are, and then they come across your path so you can love your enemy. That's what the word says, right? Love your enemy. It's not just loving the people that, they're just like me, I'm just going to love them because they're just like, no. It's to love the people that you think they're not just like you, but they are, because they are a child of God, just like you.
Yeah. Even the ones we don't agree with.
So I think that's how it can connect to everyone in any type of profession, in any type of relationship. It touches anyone in that way. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to acknowledge some people that are on here today, because I got some hungry people wanting some shout outs.
Okay. Let's shout
Love
out.
Family 289. We've got Sneha. We've got Blake. We've got Angela. Angela, thank you for the gift. We've got Jackie, Joseph, Josh, Lizzie, Lucas, Derek. Let's see, Joseph, Harley, Josh.
Wow.
We've got Molly. We've got Anadit. They're all saying hi. Hi, Helen. Star Shattuck, Edmund. Oh gosh, Roxa. So many people on here today. Thank you. I won't be doing as many, like, it's not going to be as interactive when it's just me and the audience, because we gotta like talk to Shaunte today. So, so if it's a super pertinent question about Shaunte, or some of this stuff, then I will try to get to it when the time is right. But okay, so
don't we have the best fans though? I mean, we have the best fans.
I know, right? Such loyal. Hey, Nira. So such loyal people in it, and it's great how it translates over. And just speaking of the Dhar Mann fam and the people who probably found us through that.
Yes,
it was so perfect. I was just speaking to someone this week about when God has a dream for you, He's going to move heaven and earth to line it up to make sure it happens.
Yes.
And I forget who, I think I was talking to Angela this week, actually. on our coaching call, and you know, I'm telling her, get ready, because God's doing something big in you, and sometimes we don't see how it's even possible to happen. And I don't know if you are a journaler, girl, but I'm big on
Yeah.
journaling, and I've been doing it since 2005. And I was just reading back through my journals, and I was looking at my 2018 journal, and that was the year I had Elijah.
Yes.
And that was the year I felt like I finally understood. I was like, God has been telling me to be an author and a speaker and for 10 years. And I finally, in 2018, was like, oh, okay, God, I see. Yeah, you want me to be a speaker and an author. And you like, I had been just doing acting for 20 years, but I felt like 2018, that was the year God wanted the shift to happen. And he kept
Wow.
telling me, put your books out there. And I kept arguing with God, but I don't have an audience. God kept saying, I'm going to bring the audience. Would you trust me?
Wow.
So sometimes and that year I booked Dhar Mann.
Oh.
And then my audience started to grow from that. So sometimes in our life, we're like, we don't see how it's going to happen. We don't see how this dream is going to come true. But it's not without God's power to raise up somebody else completely different that's going to snatch you up and go on the journey with them. So when God's telling me, put your stuff out there, I've got an audience waiting for you. I didn't see them. I've been looking for them. But he brought them through the Dhar Mann series.
Yes.
But he knew when he was speaking to me that I already have them out there for you, that there was going to be people that was going to see Shaunte, that was going to see Katherine, that was going to see Giovanna, that was going to relate to us, and that would be part of our tribe.
Yes.
We thought, well, I don't know if you, but we thought, well, how am I going to do it? What show am I going to have to land on? What TV series do I have to do? How do I have to make it happen? And God's like, what are you worrying about? Just do what I'm telling you to do. Put your book out, put your face out, put whatever out, and then I will bring the rest, right? We just have to trust and obey, and God brings the rest. And that's the whole faith walk that everybody on here needs to not, but how is this going to happen? We got to get the how out of here.
Yes.
In order for it to come to fruition.
That's right. That's good. That's good, Katherine. Yes.
So everything on our journey is part of the collective. We all have something to offer in our own unique way based on the things that we've been through.
Yes.
And Shaunte, now to the outside, you look so glamorous, so put together, so like the young, hip, sexy version of Whitney Houston.
Oh, I like that.
And but you didn't always have a pleasant family life or growing up life, and you had some tumultuous times. And I know many don't know that you maybe even had like a mom that wasn't the greatest, and there's some people on here that I know have had mama issues, and I know in the future you're gonna write a book about that and be more forthcoming about it. But tell us how the book that you have right now, Finding You in Every Script, the things that you learned from that, how did that help you see your family life and how hard it was to wrap your mind around it? But when you learned what you're teaching us in your book, how did that help you be able to reconcile or make peace with how your people that were supposed to love you that maybe didn't love you or backstabbed you or hurt you or didn't care about you or neglect you, whatever it was? How did what you learned in this book that you're sharing with us, how did that help you with your family life?
Wow, that's such a good question, Katherine. Yes, I have been on quite a journey. It's been quite a journey. And that's the thing, is that you have to realize is when you're in a situation, and a lot of people might be in a situation right now, a bad situation where, like you said, something's going on with their relationship with their parents, or something's going on with their relationship with their spouse or their loved one, their children. That it's just for a time. It's just for a season. This is just a part of your journey. And it's something for you to learn from that journey. And that's what it is. It's little moments, little lessons, little anecdotes that you gain from your journey, that you get to a place where you look back and you're like, wow, okay, first of all, I made it through. And now I can heal, and now I can understand that person better. And yes, so when I was growing up, my parents was young, and I actually have my dad here for my birthday. It's amazing. Him and his wife. It's so incredible to have him here in California.
Wow.
But yeah, it's going to be quite a celebration for my birthday this weekend. But
Amazing.
yeah. So I grew up in Washington D.C., which was not the best of neighborhoods. There was a lot of things going on, and crime and drug selling and abuse and things like that, and even in my own family. And so but I truly feel like when I look back, it's so interesting. When I look back, I feel like God had just a covering over me. It was a covering, it was a protective covering over me. Because I remember taking the bus to school back and forth, and just being able to just go back and forth and feel. I think I was aware of my surroundings, but they weren't able to. It was like no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It was like things were happening around me, crazy stuff was happening around me, but it didn't affect me.
Wow.
And so I truly can look back and see that God had a covering over me. And I want people to really realize that God, he's got you. He's taking care of you. And you may be going through a tough time right now, but he's covering you and he's protecting you, and you're going to make it through. And so, and then you'll make it through to the other side. So then you can truly understand the people that did the best that they could with what
Yeah.
they had, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I look back now and I'm like, my parents were young. My grandparents, they were from the South. Like, the people that loved me as much as they could in the best way they could.
Yeah.
And so, of
Yep.
course, I did experience some hard times. I was married before, and the marriage, we were married for a long period of time, but it wasn't the best. And I know that God was like, I have greater and I have better for you. And I just had to trust him in that. And
Yeah.
so, and making it through those experiences, it was all about learning who I am, and then truly learning about the people that I experienced, and what it is that they were going through. And they're still going on their journey. They're going on their
Yeah.
journey, and they're healing. And like I said, it's in my book, Finding You in Every Script. It's about really truly understanding the other person, loving the other person, because in return you love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
In return, you're saying, I accept this person for who they are. They may
Yeah.
not be where they even want to be,
Yeah.
with just totally accepting me or totally accepting other people. But I'm going to love and accept you because I love and accept myself. Once you get to that point, I'm telling you, that's when you're in the God realm.
Yes.
You're in the
It
God realm. Yes.
completely. And you make a very good point. And I say this, similar to what you said to different coaching clients I have,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes they have issues with their family, and I try to tell them, even when your family does awful things,
Mm-hmm.
they are doing the best that they know how to do
That's right.
in the moment with
Right.
the capabilities and
That they have.
comprehension and emotional stuff. They if they could do better, they would do better.
Exactly.
Not
Exactly.
everybody who treats people poorly is some like maniacal, evil, twisted person.
Right.
They just don't know how to do any better. And most
Yes.
people out there are just doing the best
We're
that they know how to
we're
do in the
we're
moment.
all doing the best that we can with what we know. And I think it starts with you. That's why it's all about you. Do the best that you can to be the best that you can. And then actually you'll see a change in other people around
Yeah,
you, right?
yeah, yeah,
When you become better, when you start loving yourself, taking care of yourself, reading more, finding out your gifts, finding out your talents, working on those things daily, then you become the better version of yourself, and then you'll start to help others become the better version of themselves. Even
yeah,
after just the simple fact that I wrote a book, people are like, I've always wanted to write a book. I've inspired so many
Yeah.
people, and it was really about me being better, me bringing my gifts to the people. But now everyone who I am in touch with, they're like, I want to do the same. I want to be that
Yeah.
better version of myself as well. So
Yeah.
that's what
And,
it
and
starts with.
that's a very good point, because if we're afraid to live the call God has in our life, and we're afraid to do this or that because other people will think, well, you're not qualified, or who gave you, like, why do you think you could do that? But you just doing what God has told you to do, living out your call, just living your life following God is a huge inspiration to others.
There
You being
is.
open and honest and sharing your mucky, messy parts
Mm.
gives other people permission to free themselves to go, oh, I don't have to be perfect. If Katherine or
Yes.
Shaunte or Giovanna can share their not so great moments, and it's helped me, then I
Yeah.
can share my not so great moments to help somebody else. And
Mhm.
if I can go after my calling to write this book or become an actress or singer or do
Mhm.
whatever, despite
Yes.
my upbringing or despite all these people that don't believe in me,
Mhm.
then it's possible. And then I can inspire others to do the same.
That's so true. So true.
So, so many people are giving us shout outs and saying
Yay!
wonderful things. And there's lots of other birthdays in September. I
Oh,
see
happy
some
birthday,
people are.
everybody.
Yeah,
Woo!
happy birthday to all those. Now, so in your book, you talk about something called Enneagrams. Did I say it correctly?
Yes, Enneagrams,
Okay.
yes.
Was the different personality types that you talk about in your books, was that specifically that, or was it kind of a takeoff on that, or how did that come about?
Yeah, well, that's where it comes from. Definitely the Enneagram system. And I know a lot of people may not know about it, which is so interesting to me because it's been around for a
Yeah,
long. It's
I had never
like
heard of it till you brought it up.
exactly. A lot of people have never heard about it. And I haven't heard about it until just a couple years ago myself from a pastor friend of ours who was reading a book and he was studying it just to get to know people and his congregation better so he can understand people better. And I was like, wow, I'm so interested in it because I went to school when I first went to college. It was for psychology because, I experienced so many different like personalities in my family. And I was like, man, I want to help them. I want to help fix them. Like, what's wrong with my mom? What's wrong? And so when
Yeah,
I went to college, I was like, okay, let me study psychology so I can understand why they're doing the crazy things that they're doing.
yeah,
But later I found acting and I loved it. And actually, I felt like acting was very similar to psychology because you're really dissecting the way that people think and why would they say this and well,
yeah,
why would the writer write this about this person? That's a real person. So when I discovered Enneagrams, I was like, wow, this is so fascinating because even though God made us unique in our own ways. We are all individual people. There is not one person alike on this planet, not even twins, not even triplets,
no,
but right, not even a mother, daughter, not even a son and brothers, but we're all very different, but yet and still we're still God has made us very similar. We're a part of the human race. We're all connected in that way. And
yeah,
so when I started to dig into the Enneagram personality system, it broke it down in 9 types, right?
hmm,
And let me see if I can go through the 9. So 1 is the perfectionist, 2 is the helper, the supporter, 3 is the performer, the achiever, 4 is the individualist. That's me, the individualist. 5 is the observer. 6 is the skeptic. 7 is the optimist. 8 is the challenger. And 9 is the peacemaker. Woo! I did
you
it.
did it. Wow,
And
that's a
so
lot to remember.
I know, right? Because I'm so interested in it. It's just so fascinating to me. And so I started to really kind of test it to see like the people that were in my life, maybe I can see if they fit into this, if they fit into that, and it worked every time. Every
Wow.
time. I was like, oh, my son is, oh, he's a 5. He's an observer. That's why he likes to go into his little man cave, and he has all this wealth of information. I mean, literally. And my husband, he's a supporter, he's a helper. That's why he loves giving his time and his energy to the church. And I mean, it was just like, wow, this is really working. And so I was like, how amazing would this be to use this tool to use it in my acting career? Because
Yeah.
really, that's what we're portraying. People, we're being these people, we're being different types of people. And so I was just like, this is so incredible. So that's how the idea came about, and I wrote it.
That was actually one of the questions I had for you. Was there
Really?
like some kind of epiphany or
Yes.
some defining moment where you thought I could translate this into my acting characters?
Totally. That's what it was. It was like, let me see if this will work in my acting career. And it has. And I will continue to use it because it's such an easy guide. Now, I have gone to school. I have done plenty of years of training in acting, right? So I
Yeah.
know how to really go into a scene and dissect the scene and the character analysis and the objectives I mean, it's a lot. You can go really deep into it, like the
Yeah.
backstory. I mean, you can do a whole thing. But
Yeah.
when you have an easy in,
Mhm.
sometimes there's a shortcut. Even in life, there's a journey. When you get a coach,
Yeah.
when you're trying to figure out things in life and you get a coach, that's a
Yeah.
shortcut, right?
Yes.
Because that coach will say, "Oh, don't go that way," because
Yeah.
that'll waste 2 years, 3 years of your life. Don't do this. Go this way,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's sort of what I feel like this book is giving you, just a shortcut
Yeah.
into your acting, experience. And even not even so just your acting experience, but relationships with people as well.
Yeah. Now, there was something like in your book that I wanted you to kind of talk about a little bit more, and you talked about, um, some acting coaches have you drudge up memories from the past in order to
Yes.
whatever, different methods. You talked about a couple different kinds of methods, but in your book, you mentioned something about compartmentalizing your feelings to work for you as
Mm-hmm.
an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, is there like a certain thing you do to bring up certain feelings that were previously tied to hurtful
Mm-hmm.
things, but you were able to disconnect them from those events
As
somehow to use them in non-harmful ways?
Totally, yes. I'm glad you read my book. Thank you, Catherine. That's one of the things I said, is that because we do go through some experiences, some not so good experiences, some trauma, and I said that if you're interested in going into an acting career, the acting career is not a place to heal that trauma. There could be some healing. There could be some it's a catharsis, a healing experience when you're working out these relationships in your performances.
Mhm.
But when you really want to be a whole person, you have to go and do the soul work. Go to a therapist.
Yeah.
Go to a therapist. Go to a spiritual guide, a spiritual leader. If you go to a church, go someplace where you can really work out those things, that trauma, so that you can come to a place where you have peace with yourself and with those experiences that you've had. Now, if you are able to tap in to how you felt in those experiences, and not use that person so you can go back to that trauma with that person so you can have a bad relationship, but just take those feelings like a little ball, like, oh, I remember I was feeling not so good in this situation. Let me take this little ball, not connected to that person or anybody else. Let me take this little ball of experiences or feelings and put that into this scene, because
Mhm.
then I can use this for the benefit of truly living out this experience. Because that's what people do. They watch movies, they watch films, they watch shows so that they can see people experiencing the icky stuff that they don't really want to deal with, right?
Yeah.
So it's our job as actors, to allow them to see themselves in those experiences, right? So they
Mhm.
don't have to get in there and get dirty with it. But it's our job as actors to allow ourselves to do that, but in a healthy way for us actors as well. So do the soul work first, but then see if you can also tap into those feelings and just separate that from the situation and use that in the new circumstance, the chosen circumstance that you want to use it to benefit, to help everyone, to help all people. I think that's the difference. The difference is that when you're dealing with those feelings, is it about you? Is it about you still working through your stuff, or is it about helping others deal through their stuff? And I think that's the difference there.
Okay, that's great, and it's very usable for an actor in their craft to be able to remember how you felt in a situation, but not bring that into the scene. Like, I remember I felt some kind of way in here and like the yuck, but I'm not going to say this person cheated on me and I'm bringing that. And the whole time you're trying to do this scene, you're thinking of what that nasty person did to you. That's the difference.
Sometimes that can be unhealthy. And that's what I want us as actors, as artists, to do it in a healthy way, to definitely do it in a healthy way. Yes.
It's like we've had a couple more people join us. We've got Jaden, we've got, let's see, Vias, we've got Lucas, we've got Marta, we've got Shanti.
Hey guys.
Shanti, Myra, Corey, Nana, Ytram. A few more people have joined us. So we're talking, for those of you who've recently come on, we're talking to Shaunte about her new book, Finding You in Every Script. Not only is it a helpful guide for actors, but we're talking about how important it is just for us in general to know different people's types, what type of personality they have, what type of characteristics they have, so we can understand them better. Sometimes you guys are in situations, friendships, families, and you're like, why the heck did they do that? How could they possibly think that way? What? And like, knowing their personality types and reading the book, it's like, oh, I get them. They don't know how else to be.
It's like, that's who they are, and they don't even know that they're that way, right? They don't even know, right?
We all have these set things that are ingrained in our personality types and how we work and how we are with people. And so, Shaunte.
Yes.
9 personality types.
Yes.
After spending a few months with me, what is your opinion on which personality type I am?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Actually,
Shaunte's just like assessing everyone which she meets from this.
Everybody I meet, I'm like, oh yeah, she's a number. Yeah. No, but you're interesting because I asked you before what you thought you were, and you said you thought you were too, because you are a very helpful supporter. That's a number 2, is a person that will take the shirt off their back. What do you need? I will help, and that is totally you. But I think your core personality, I want to say you're an 8. I want to say you're a type 8, which is a challenger. Now, a challenger is also a helpful person, but in a different type of way, because they are also a leader. They're like a team leader. They're the ones that's pulling everybody together, right? And I've experienced that with you. They're the ones that's pulling, come on, everybody, let's come together and let's get this thing done. Let's get it together. Let's get it done together. And they won't back off, and they're very loyal. I so see you as a type 8. I see you very much as a type 8. Yes. And then not only that, a type 8 or any type can lean towards one or the other, or in different situations, they can go to a different number, like, so in a certain situation where you feel calm and you feel like, oh, everything is good in the world, then you become more of that helper, that nurturer, that supporter. But then when there's something that needs to get done, and it's like, okay, come on, everybody, let's pull it together. Now it's time. That's when your true personality steps up to the plate. So yeah, that's what I think. I don't know. You can see for yourself, but that's
I read it and I thought people can change along the way too.
Sure.
I thought years ago, oh, I'm definitely, when I read it, I thought I'm definitely the individualist and the helper years ago. But I feel like that was the past. And I feel like right now, like as I read it, I felt like I am the optimist. with, I
Yes.
felt like
Yes.
I was the optimist with a little bit of the achiever and perfectionist and
Yeah.
peacemaker woven
I'm
in.
telling you, we all have a piece of everything. We truly do.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all have
But
a
I
piece
was
of
like, I
everything.
thought I related mostly to the optimist, but it's interesting to hear how other people see
See
you.
you. That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. It
yeah.
is. It is because at first I feel like I am the individualist because once I talked to my husband about it, he thought I was a performer, achiever, and
Okay.
because when I'm in a mode, I'm like, okay, let's get it done, and I'm a performer, but usually I'm a very introverted person, like I can just like read a book. I can just be home. I can be writing. I can be in a meditative, all day. I can stay in that place. But people don't see, normally people don't see that side of me. They only see the showy side of me. And
Yeah.
so they automatically think I'm more of a type 3, which is like an achiever. I want everybody to see I'm a winner. But no, I'm more of a 4, an individualist. But it's a individualist is very creative. It's a very creative person. So that's what most people see. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure everyone on here might be dying to know,
Yes.
which personality type do you think Dhar Mann is?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I haven't done him yet. Let's see if we can do it together. All right.
Okay.
So a perfectionist. What do you think? Do you think Dhar Mann is a perfectionist? Do you think he has to have everything in its place, very detailed? Do you think that he's
I don't think he could
no?
scale the business the way he has as quickly as he has if he was a perfectionist,
Okay.
because then he would want to be doing everything and wouldn't trust delegating as much.
Very true. Good.
I
Okay.
don't think
So we'll
that's
cross
it.
that out. All right. Number 2. So type 2, is he a supporter? He's a helper. He's always doing so much for everyone else that he doesn't really have a lot of time for himself, but he always gives. Now he could be that. Do you think he's that type?
He's
Yeah.
not that. He's
Okay. Okay.
not that.
So
That's a
let's put that.
possibility.
Okay. Okay. So
You can
there's a
put that as a
possibility. Number 2 is a
possibility, but let's
possibility.
see
All right.
if any other fits better.
Okay. Now, number 3 is the performer, the achiever. That's the person that wants everybody to see that I am a winner. I'm always the A person. That's a type A person. Like,
I don't think
make sure that they're gonna get everything done and dot the T's or cross the T's and dot the I's. So you think Dhar Mann is that type of person?
he probably has to go there now and then,
Now
as
and
he
then.
has over 100 people to work for him.
Yes.
Probably
Okay.
has to do that, but I
Okay. Not
don't
really.
think
Not
he
really. All
lives.
right.
He
Now,
doesn't live in that place.
Number four, which is what I think I am, individualist, very creative, but he can go into a quiet place and stay there, and he's very creative. I would think he is a very creative person to come up with an idea like this.
I think he's fitting the 4.
He has a vision. Yes, it's a visionary. It's someone not always having everything that they need to accomplish it, but they see where they want to go,
Yeah.
So
I see that in 4 and 2. I see 4 and 2.
4 and 2. Okay, 4 and 2. Okay.
Because he's a writer. First and foremost, he considers himself a writer. So he would just be at his computer writing all day and not necessarily in front of everyone. Like, he never really was the one to like put himself in all the videos.
Very true.
He's been asked, people want to see more of him. So he's maybe even stepping outside of his comfort zone to appease the people who want to see more of him. So I think he's more of an inner shell kind of person.
We're on to something. I think he's more of a 4. Okay, I think he's more of a 4. But okay, so a 5 is a person that's pretty, to themselves. They're quiet, but they love gathering information. You think that he's sort of like that, or
that's a 5?
A 5 is the observer. He's very much observing life as opposed to being a participant in life.
No, not as much as the 4 and the 2.
Okay, not as much as the 4. Okay, I think 4 might be okay, but 6. Let's see. So 6 is a skeptic. 6 is always a person that's questioning how and why. Okay, no,
that's definitely not him.
7.
He wouldn't be able to do what he's doing if he was like, Are you doing this? Are you doing this job?
Yes.
Did you tell me that thing right? You can't have a staff
Right,
of
right,
100
right, right.
people if you're.
Exactly. Okay, so where are we? 7 is an optimist. They never want to look at the dark side of things. They're always like happy go lucky, So
He's got some of that.
he has
He
some of that.
definitely, I mean, all the scripts, people are like, sometimes people say to me, this isn't real life because there's no bad endings. So I do see a little of the
Oh.
optimist there for
Yes,
sure.
he's very much okay. He's very much an optimist. That's very true. That's very true. We have to
Yeah.
dissect a little bit more into that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
their strength is that they're always going to look to the brighter side of things. Always, always. So okay. So then 8 is the challenger. That's like what I was saying about you is like like pulling people together and saying we're going to accomplish what we came to do. That's like the warrior. That's the champion. So, do you think he's similar to that, or okay, not
That
so?
might be Ruben. That might be the,
Yes,
it might, what the one that pulls
yes,
that tells everybody this
yes.
is how we're gonna do it, and
That could be Reuben. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right. And then 9 is the peacemaker. The peacemaker just wants everybody to be happy, harmony.
No,
Yeah. Okay.
no.
Okay. So
So I
okay,
think I think he's mostly a 4,
he's
but
mostly a
he's
4.
got some optimist and
Yes.
helper tendencies.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. We did it. We got it. I think we got it.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was fun.
So
You see how fun that is, though? You see how fun that is?
yeah. And then you can look up, she's got, so in her book not only has the personality types, she does like examples from films or plays to show you like
Exactly.
this is how they think, this is how they
Yes.
talk, this is how they
Mm-hmm.
behave. Hey Susie, so I thought there was um okay, so Mayra, this is a different kind of this isn't that kind of personality type. So I think you're talking about are you no, this is
Oh, is she talking about the disc?
no, what, I don't think it's disc, it's the INFJ.
I've
That's
heard of that too. Yes.
that's a different,
It's
this is
different.
called
It's different. A lot of people
Enneagram.
haven't heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. VS wants to know, Shaunte, what was your experience like working with Rebecca Ritz from Dhar Mann?
I love Rebecca.
Yeah.
I played with her. Okay, I did. I think the first one I did, she was like a Karen type of character where she was calling the police on a homeless man on the street, and but she is totally not that person in real life. Like she's like Katherine.
Yeah.
Like Katherine.
She doesn't even want to play those characters. Like she's always like apologizing.
She's like, I'm
so
sorry.
I don't even. I play them, but I don't apologize for them. I'm like, it's a script.
It's a script. I'm an actor. Get over it,
Yeah.
people.
But it's so sweet. Even when we did like a battle of the Karens for the reaction channel.
Okay.
And she was so like she just wanted everyone to know this isn't right. This is not right. I would never. She's like,
right.
As much as you guys hate me, I hate myself more. She was like so upset about having to play the character.
Oh, poor Rebecca. Yeah, she's great. No, she's great to work with for sure.
So Clover Cow wants to know if you have a YouTube channel, Shaunte.
I do. I'm just trying to kick it up into action. So yes, please follow me. It's Shaunte Massard on YouTube. Yes.
So she's got one. She's gonna get better at posting. We're trying to light a fire under her butt. So she.
Yes, I need it.
More posting.
I need it.
Who is your favorite person to act with, Shaunte?
Katherine, of course.
And then when she's on Giovanna's show, ask her the same question.
I love all the actors on Dhar Mann. And no, it is such a pleasure to work with Katherine. Katherine has so much experience. I mean, and you're just a joy to work with. You come in there, you get the job done, and then you're like, hey, let's go get coffee or smoothie afterwards,
That's like, what do you in between takes? I'm like, so how you doing with your goals?
Yes, you see, that's the type 8, honey. What are you doing? What's going on? What's
I
happening?
feel like that was the coach in me. Like, okay, so are you
Yes.
making progress on this? Like, what's happening?
Yes, which is wonderful. I
Which in
totally,
some ways, I think is sort of like the helper, because I'm like, I just want people to reach their goals. I just want them to,
yes.
but
You
yeah,
want them to be the best they can be. That's
yeah.
wonderful.
But when I used to be the helper, I
Yes.
felt like I had to do all the work for them myself.
I see. Yes.
Yeah. And now I'm like, I could still help them, but I can show them how to help themselves.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. Totally.
Okay. Someone's asking, do you know what the next Dhar Mann video is going to be? We never know in advance.
Ooh, no.
We have no-
Yeah.
You guys find out what the next one coming out is the same
Same
time
time.
we find out. We like
Same
sometimes
time.
you know before us because you're like on there waiting to
Right.
see the
Right.
trailer that they're gonna post.
People tell me, they're like, oh, you're in this next video. And I'm like, oh, great. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it when we get off work. We'll see. So you mentioned a couple different types of like acting. You had a lot of different acting experiences. I'm guessing you've taken lots of different styles of acting from lots of different
Yes.
coaches. Have you ever met an acting coach that uses the Enneagrams, or is that
You know what? Okay, there is one coach I will say in particular. She doesn't use the Enneagrams. Her name is Wendy Davis.
Okay.
She's a very great actress. She's a great actress.
You mentioned her in your book.
I'm sorry.
You mentioned her in your book.
Yeah. Wendy Davis. She's a great. Oh, I think I mentioned Diana Castle, but Wendy Davis also. She didn't use Enneagrams, but she used a couple of types of people, and I think hers is like a controller, like an analytical person. So she a part of her whole acting
Mm-hmm.
system. It has like, oh, these different types of people. It's like a smidget, but and that
Okay.
resonated with me as well. The type of person I am, that resonated with me because I'm already totally into the psyche, the psychology of
Yeah.
people, you know. So yeah.
There was a one acting class, and I've been like you've been to so many acting classes over the years with so many different teachers.
Mhm.
But one in particular that was a really great class, fun class, great teachers,
Mhm.
was called Actors Comedy Studio.
Okay.
And their slogan is like, "We take comedy serious." Something like
Oh.
but they have the different character archetypes for comedy. And if
I
you watch
see.
comedies, like if you watch Friends, you can see each different person on the
Yes.
show Friends is this
Right.
particular, and they have like a specific to comedy, which I thought
Mm.
was really interesting when I took that course, and I could totally see how these different characters
Yes.
fit so easily in these.
That's so true. I've learned that as well. Going to school is, especially in comedy, because it's so good for writing, for writers as well, because you know who you're writing. You know this person, right? The type
Mhm.
of person. It's like a stock character. Tyler Perry also, he's a writer. He's amazing, creative, visionary, and he writes, all of his characters are very similar to like stock comedy characters, like the jokester or the straight man, or so it works. It's a great formula that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to have the different types in the scenes, because if every character was the same, it would be
work.
so boring. If
Yeah,
every
it needs some kind of conflict there. And
yeah, I
to
had
have
a
conflict, you need different types of personalities.
so true. I had one. I was working with Matt Simber on some different projects, and he was a popular director in the 70s and 80s. And one thing he taught us, like every scene, if you got a buddy, if you got two people in a scene, every scene needs a dot and a dash. And so what he meant by that is like the dots are like, they're like all over the place. They're the fast talkers, or this or that. And then you've got the slow, the person that sits back. You could not have two dots.
Exactly.
It'd be super boring if you had two dashes. So like the dashes are like the Marlon Brandos, where everything is thought through and thought about. And then the dots are like the Joe Pesci. Like Joe Pesci, like he's talking really fast. And imagine you couldn't have two of those in one thing.
It's like having two comets, two meteors meeting at the same.
Yeah.
And if you really if you take time to pull back and observe like the people in your circle, you'll see that everybody fits in their own role. Everybody
Yeah.
has their own different type of personality, really.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's because you can't have two meteors at the same time. So somebody
Yeah.
has to back off a little bit, So
Mm-hmm.
like you were saying, earlier in your life, you were more of a two,
Mm-hmm.
you're more of the helper because maybe in that circle, it needed a two,
Yeah.
and where you are in your life right now, you're more so like you said, you're more so an 8 or a 7, because this is the type of circle and type of season that you're in your life right now. So it's
But
interesting that.
yeah, and I also think that sometimes, well, as actors, we morph into whatever character we need to be.
Yes.
And I think I see that in life too. Like,
yes.
so many times I do not want to be the one in charge. I just want to come and have a good time.
Yes.
And then I see everything falling apart all around me. And I'm like, here we go. Okay, guys, here's what we need to do. And they're like, oh, wow. I'm like,
they needed you. Right.
yeah,
they needed the circumstance, the circle of friends.
It's like, I do not want to be the boss. I do not want to be the one in charge.
Right.
I just want to be like my optimist. Yes. Like, oh, let's go. Let's be.
But see, now, had you gone into a circle that already had a person that was the leader, the charger, then you could be just the optimist. Then you could lay back. But it changes. And you have to know where you are in that space, in that time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And different, working with different people and different, whether we're on set or whether it's people in our family or whether coaching, guys, any of you guys who've been wanting to get into acting, Shaunte is also a coach. She can help you with your auditions. Yes. She can help you figure out the different personality types. You can get individual coaching from her for, for following that career and from, working from one of the best.
Yay! Thank you. I would love to, though. I love coaching. I love working with people, especially young people. I have a couple of coaching clients now who I love working with, and I would love to work with you guys. Totally.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to look at some of the questions that people have put up because I've kind of been ignoring the chat because I had so many of my own questions.
I get it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, tell Shaunte that Sean says hi.
Sean is one of my coaching clients. Hi, Sean.
Ah, see? There you go. We've got Claire on here. We've got Jordan. Let's see. Who else is new? There's
hi, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Susie's here. Oh, Shaunte, VS wants to know what your experience is working with, I'm going to butcher the name, Bhavika Gaddam?
That may be, yes.
The Indian girl where you were in an episode where she was a journalist. What was your experience?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I love her. She's so amazing. So she's another young person. That's the blessing that we have working at Dhar Mann. We get to work with so many amazingly talented young people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, she is one of them. Sean, who plays Jay, my son, is one of them. I forget. It's so many wonderful people. Brianne, Devin. Yes.
Devin's amazing.
They're wonderful young people. When I was their age, I never thought I could get in front of a camera and do what they're doing. It's amazing to me. Yeah. Right?
It's incredible.
So I love working with all of the young people at Dhar Mann. It's amazing. It really is.
Jarrell wants to know if we've ever been in a video together. Jarrell, do you watch Dhar Mann?
I think he needs to go back and watch all the videos, honey. You will see us in a few.
We have been in several together.
Our first one. What was our first one though?
I don't know what our first one was, but
you know what? I don't think it was the first one. It was the second one.
My two favorites are you and I on the airplane.
That's the one, yes.
And then you and I, where you were the evil foster mom who had my daughter.
I do remember that. Yes.
That is another one of my favorite. Those
That was
two are
yes.
my
That was a
favorite.
good one. That was a really good one. Oh, you
Yeah.
played that part so good. I was watching you during that scene, and I was like, she's amazing. Like the tears were just flowing. I mean, and for hours. I mean, guys, she is such an amazing actress. You don't know. So behind the scenes, the videos are like what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like tops.
Yeah.
This lady is suffering for this story for hours, crying, and it's beautiful. It's magnifique. It's a masterpiece.
And
Your
I
work
was
is
so
art.
like I was so into this story because it was the first one where they really went dark and they talked about like abuse
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
alcoholism. And I brought a pair of glasses and I was telling Rushi we should do this shot where the guy knocks me on the ground and my glasses are shattered. I had a hammer and I shattered my glasses and they did this shot.
Wow.
They cut it out. They never used it. And then I had this thing where like, well, he'd hit me and I'd be in the next scene with a Band-Aid and
Yeah.
and blood. So in the scene I did with you, I used scar tissue. I had the scar stuff and I made a scar over my eyebrow. I don't even know if anybody saw it, but I was
did.
so I had this
It was
scar
like
and
it looked like a healed wound, right?
yeah, because
But
he had
I did not think you did that. I thought your face was, because we hadn't worked together that much. I really thought you had a scar on your face. I did not know. This
I
is
went
how
through
much you were in it. You were committed to
yeah.
telling the story. You're an
Yeah.
artist. You're an artist. It was wonderful.
So I remember it was this scar set when in hindsight, I was like, I should have never done it over my eyebrow because when I
Right.
tore it off, I lost all this eyebrow hair and I thought it was never going to grow back. And I had to keep penciling it in because I had a spot where I had no hair because once I tore the scar off, I was like, never again.
Never
Why did I do
again.
it on a
That's
different
hilarious. But that's dedication. That is dedication, commitment. You were sold out for this story. You're like, this story is going to be told. That is beautiful. And the wonderful thing about this is, I don't think that now I know how, when I go out in public, people notice us, people recognize us. When we're making the film, when we're making the short films and the videos, I don't know how gravitas. I don't know, how heavy, how this responsibility is to telling these stories, because so many people are going to see themselves. So many people are going to relate. So many people are going to be healed from these stories. So we do have a responsibility to go all the way, to go 1,000% to tell these stories. That's the wonderful thing about this, is that we are truly, it's not just us acting and having fun and getting all this attention, but we are touching the human soul,
Yeah. And there's people on today like Angela, the moderator. She found us in a dark hour of the night, and the particular episode that she saw me in was about suicide, and she was kind of on the verge. I think it's okay that I say that because I think she's mentioned that before. So we don't know when we're going to reach someone at the darkest hour of their night and pull them into the light.
Right.
And it's and you're right, on set we're having so much fun and we're laughing, and maybe like we're not always thinking this could be the thing that saved someone. Or and it was interesting, I was talking to Colin the other day and we were joking around about something. We were talking about these other projects in the future and this and all the stuff that we're doing, and kind of in some ways when you're working on all these other things, like your books, my books, our coaching, we're doing all this other stuff, and we say Dhar Mann is just a part of who I am. Some people know that as the only thing they know about us, but it's just a part. And Colin said something, because I'm thinking of my books as my legacy and things like this. I'm saying, this is part of our legacy. And it didn't, like, maybe it hadn't really occurred to me before. Because sometimes, when you get hired to go do something, it doesn't necessarily feel like your own baby. Like sometimes it feels like, well, I'm a hired hand. It's like I'm a cog in the great big machinery.
Sure.
and he was saying this is like part of our legacy, and I had to really think
So
about that.
true.
And he
So
said, someday these kids that are watching are going to grow up. 10 years from now, they're going to Google, whatever happened to Shaunte Massard? Like, where is she now? I
Mm.
was thinking, it's interesting for us to have teenagers and kids being a big part of the audience, but they're going to grow up one day and they're going to want to see us, and we have captured them in the most influential season of their
Very
life.
much so,
I
yes.
know my teenage years were the
Yes.
most painful,
Mm.
tumultuous years
Yes.
I would never want to repeat. And us
Yes.
being able to break through and give a bit of sunshine to their dark days when they're being bullied at school, when they feel like they're not enough, that is a gift that we have this platform developed from the innovative, what if Dhar Mann gave up when only 500 people watched the
Wow.
videos initially?
Right.
What if he quit? What if he didn't have that tenacity to keep
Yes.
going? If he did, nobody would know who we were. Nobody would
That's
know who
right.
any. Maybe we would have gotten more. Maybe we would have gotten on some Netflix show, or maybe would. Who knows
Mm.
what God would have done instead if Dar gave up. But
Mm.
it's such a gift, and I think we don't realize how much influence that,
I don't
like,
think
the
so.
responsibility. And I saw a really great meme the other day, and it said
Yeah.
something like, social media has convinced us that 60 likes isn't enough. But if you had
Mm.
60 people come up to you and give you a compliment,
That's a lot of
you would
people.
be overwhelmed.
Right.
Can you
Right.
imagine 60 people in a day coming up to you and saying something great? I like
That's
that. I
a lot
loved
of
your
people.
work. That was
Yes.
meaningful. And so for everybody on here who's wanting to make a difference, who's wanting to put their work out there, and he's
Mhm.
like, I only got 5 likes, and you're like, if 5 people came up to you and said they liked you and they appreciated you and your song was touching, if they told you they liked it, you would
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah. That's
5
awesome.
people
Right.
so we can't downplay that just because we can't see the person, that we're
Mm.
not affecting them and we're not changing their lives.
Amen. That's true.
So,
That's
Shaunte,
true.
your book
Yes.
launches tomorrow.
Woo!
Where can people get your book?
Oh my goodness. Go to Amazon, guys. Go to Amazon.
So,
Mhm.
yes, do you want them to buy the Kindle tomorrow and then the paperback later so you can get the numbers on Kindle to become bestseller? Is that your
Yes.
strategy? Because I was trying to tell people that.
Yes.
Are you able to do any kind of special discount for the Kindle tomorrow for the launch day? Do you know?
Oh, I'll see what I can do. I would love to do a
Okay.
discount. Yes, I think I
Yeah,
can go in and give a discount for tomorrow so
for
people can come
24
in.
hours only for the launch
Yes.
day to get
Get
to get
people
the
in
numbers up.
there.
If
Yes.
you're able to do that,
I think so. I think so.
okay.
24 hours. Okay, so let's do
So
that. All
for
right.
24 hours,
Yes.
everybody starting tomorrow when she puts it up, she's going to announce it on her Instagram. So be
Yes.
looking.
Yes.
She's going to do a 24-hour special only on Kindle.
Yes.
Get it on Kindle.
Kindle first.
You do not need to have a Kindle,
Yes.
guys. I have the Kindle app right here on my phone. So you
Mm-hmm.
can just read the books just by
Right
downloading the
there.
app, and you don't actually need to have a
Mm-hmm.
Kindle.
Yes.
So this has been a wonderful, and
You
I
have
hope
been
you
wonderful.
guys got a lot out of this. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the questions, but
It's been amazing. Thank you for having me
can
so
do this
much.
for
Thank
hours.
you.
So you guys, tomorrow we got to go out and get Finding You in every script.
Every script. You can go to my Instagram. I am Shaunte. You can go to my Facebook. It'll be there. The link will be there. You'll see all my links. You'll see it says my book, the link Finding You. So go for it, guys. In 24 hours, like Katherine
Yes.
said.
Anna didn't. It is not free, but she has the Kindle will be a lower price.
It'll be a
than the
lower
paper.
price. I'll announce it tomorrow. I'll
Tomorrow
announce
only, she's going to do a discount for tomorrow only on the
Yes.
Kindle version. So
Yes.
go get the online version tomorrow. Thank you for your time, Shaunte. Tell your daddy and your husband thank you for sharing you with us today. Have a beautiful birthday, and I'm just so proud of you. We're going to be here cheerleading you on every step of the way.
Thank you, Katherine.
All right, guys. Blessings.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye.
All right. I ended the broadcast.